Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, we are going to discuss how to publish our Optimizely demo site to Vercel. So let's get started. First of all, we need a Vercel account. You can create a hobby account which is like totally free. So I've created a one for me like hobby account. Then we can just go in the add new and create a project. If you haven't added your GitHub account here, you can just go here, click on the arrow and then add your GitHub account. For me, I have already added this one. So when I added this account, I allowed the access to all the repository available in my account. So that's the reason everything is coming on here. So if you can see the my GitHub repository, I have forked the API server CMS SaaS Vercel demo from the API server account. So currently I'm having CMS SaaS Vercel demo in my account, which is just the version of this one. So I'm going to publish this one to my Vercel account. Cool. So as you can see, the GitHub repository is already connected to it. I'm able to see the repository. So I'm going to import the this one repository, CMS SaaS Vercel demo, which is this one, right? So let's import it. So the moment I have imported this repository, it has renamed itself automatically. So you can just rename it something else if you want. Then the framework present, it has all automatically selected as Next.js. Root directory, it is selecting as apps frontend, which is the correct one. Then for the build and output settings, we are keeping it same as it is. Then regarding the environment variables, we need to set up the environment variables here. If we go in the local environment and check the env file, or if you haven't set up your local, you can just check the env file from here, going to this repository, then apps, front end, then we are having this env file. Cool. So we are need to add some environment variables like Optimizely CMS URL, graph secret, graph API key, graph single key, and graph gateway. So let's add these.
A few moments later.
As you can see, I have added the Optimizely CMS URL, graph secret, graph app key, graph single key, and graph gateway. Now next we just need to click the deploy. It will take a few minutes to deploy this. So our project got deployed, as you can see. Continue to dashboard. So on the dashboard, we can see the deployment is done on production, and it has provided some URL here for us to view the website. Let's see it. So now we are having the URL, which is public, to see our website. So let's make this Vercel site to work with our Optimizely CMS too. What we need to do is just go into the settings, applications, then the application that we have configured earlier, we need to change the URL to the Vercel URL here. Let's click on that, host names, and then change the host name to our Vercel URL. As this Vercel URL that we have here is on HTTPS, so just check this box and then save. Let's check here now, home node. And we can see our site working with the Vercel URL. Let's talk about some of the other options that we have in Vercel app. Let's switch to Vercel app. So we have opened this dashboard where we can see the deployment that has been completed and successful. And the next option that we are having is the deployments, where you can see all the deployment that have been executed in this project. You can see all this here. If you want to redeploy the same thing again, you just click on here and then this redeploy. You can copy the URL, assign the domain, etc. If you want to trigger a new deployment instead of redeploying this thing, then you can just go here and create new deployment. Then we have some analytics that you want to check. You can check in the analytics portion. Then we have speed inside. This it is saying it is a monthly free on the hobby account. If you want to use it, you can use this from here. Then the logs say your deployment is not successful for some reason. You can check the logs and see the reason why it is not deploying, and check the error and accordingly fix that by going into the logs. Then we have observability, where you can set up your edge functions, external APIs, and much more. Then we have firewall. If you want to see any attacks or something, you can check in the firewalls. Then we have storage. You can configure the storage here. You can create the database. It depends upon the need of the project you are deploying on the Vercel. Then the third one, which is very important, is the settings one. Here you will be able to see all the settings that you have configured for this deployment to occur. So in the journal part, let's start with the journal part. So here you can see the project name. So it is connected to my GitHub repository, and the project name you can see here. You can check the build and deployment settings here. You can just override with something else or can use the existing one. In the root directory, you can see the root directory which is connected to it, where our actual Next.js app is present in the folder. Then you can configure the next Node.js version. So there are a couple of versions available. So you can select depending on the project. By default, it will choose the latest one, or it will choose based on the one that is selected in the package.json. And you can delete the account if you want by going into delete. Then the other important thing to notice is the environment variables. So all the environment variables that we have configured, you can find under the settings and environment variables here. Okay. You can see all the environment variables that we have configured before deploying here. So it is saying this environment variable is configured for all environment. Say you want to configure it for some but not for all. You want to configure the different variable for different environments. You can do so by going here and clicking on edit. Okay. And then we have Git options. If you click here, you have the Git options here where you can find your Git repository. So with every push, this build will be triggered, and you can create the hook or deploy the hook from here. Any external integrations you can find here. So I am using the All2Do account, so it is showing me Sitecore XM Cloud integration here. And there are advanced settings, then we have security and other options. Another important thing to check is the environments. If you click on the environments, you will see all the environments that are configured here: development, preview, and production. So it is saying that the branch tracking, that which branch is linked from your repository. If you can see your repository, so the main branch is linked to it. So by default, when we deploy any GitHub repository to Vercel, so the default branch will get published. So if you want to set some other branch, you can just go here, click on this option and just mention the branch you want to deploy. And the next time with every push, the specific branch that you have added here will be deployed instead of the default one. Yeah, that's it for the Vercel deployment. Thanks for watching.